the arrest and reprimand of social media influencer Luwilight due to comments she allegedly made about Zuwena cakes, for me, has reignited a much-needed public conversation about speech responsibility and the limits of online expression. Now, the reports are that Luwilight made comments about Zuwena cakes by saying that the cakes are not sweet and making a comparison of the cakes to human waste or feces. Now, whether we agree with the reaction or not, whether we agree with the reprimand or not, I think this case is a lesson, a sobering lesson on the dangers and the limits of online expression and reckless communication in these spaces we call social media. Now, I think at the heart of this case is a misunderstanding of free speech. Now, you have freedom to express yourself. Freedom of expression does not mean freedom from consequences. Criticism is legal, it's permitted within the law. However, when that criticism moves from a decent dislike of a product, of a system, of a brand, of a person, to now abusive, to use of language that is legally considered abusive, harmful, defamatory, degrading, or insulting to the concerned party, then the law draws a line there. You are free to say that you don't like a product. How you say it and the words that you use matter. That's the whole point here. And unfortunately, I think we are witnessing that right before our eyes, whether we are comfortable with the extremes or not of where this case is headed in our own judgment. The other thing that I think we minimize, or that is minimized, is the power of social media influencer culture. You see, if you're social media influencer culture, you have thousands, you have hundreds of thousands or millions of followers. So your words are not about banter. Your words become public opinion. They are not private conversation. Your words can damage a brand, a reputation that's been built over years. Your words can be used to harass someone, or they can lead to public harassment of an individual or of a brand or of a family, whatever it is you're critiquing. And the law acknowledges that power. Now, when you make statements that are punitive, that are aimed to insult a brand, and those statements can possibly lead to financial ruin of a brand or of a business, then that can be considered as harmful language. Especially when you have a big audience or a big number of followers, what we call reach. And now this is the difference. This is where we get to appreciate professional journalism and media training. You see, media practitioners, communicators, reporters, news editors, name it, they are trained to critique without using harmful language. They are trained to separate personal emotion and opinion from facts. They understand that words matter, context matters, tone matters, timing matters. They also understand what to say, when to say it, Up to what limit? The legal and ethical implications of whatever they say or whatever they put out there. Now, for a social media influencer, you may have greater reach. Maybe it's even equal to traditional media reach, or even greater reach. There are people with millions of followers, yet some radio stations don't even have millions of listeners. So for a social media influencer with that kind of reach, you have the ability to air out your views, to type what you need to say, but you lack that media training. The other thing is the illusion we have with social media and looking at it as informal. People treat social media like kabozi of the street, like how you go to the street and just start chatting with people. Once you speak something on social media, it is no longer private conversation. It is public opinion. Social media spaces, especially in Uganda, are governed by the Ugandan law and the government of Uganda at large. So whatever you say is filtered through those lenses. Okay? Now, for many of us, we do not understand the impact. Your words have the ability to build or destroy someone or a brand or a system or a product, financially, psychologically, the whole 9 yards. And for me, this is where I think that we forget that communication is not just about the ability and freedom to express myself. Communication is also responsibility to others. What you say online is not just about, this was my opinion. For me, this is what I think. You have a responsibility to others. And that's where the law comes in. When your responsibility to others is misused to create harm or to injure a person. Now, if you're an influencer, this is my appeal to you. Go take a crash course in media. How to speak, when to speak, the laws around media in Uganda especially. I, for one, when I am thinking about something to say, especially if it's something that's tricky, I like to go and check on Google whether this is illegal. What I'm about to say, I'll type it in and ask Google, is this illegal if I say it out on social media? That in a way protects you. It may not fully protect you, but it does. Now, many social media influencers just simply come and express their opinions until things catch up with them. I think that we need to understand that people now are aware of the law and they are going to go to great lengths to protect themselves, to protect their brands, to protect their reputations. And many of us who post on social media are not ready for what's coming. Let me tell you, criticism is legal, but contempt is something that is personal and can be used against you. Be very careful with what you're saying online. Be extremely aware of the laws, of the ethical nuances of what you're saying. Whether it's about a brand, whether it's about a place of work you used to be, inform yourself before it's too late. Even if you're set free, it costs money to pay lawyers to be set free. Let's be responsible.